Happy Wednesday, friends. Today we're going to practice drawing conclusions with short stories. So, our statement is good readers can draw a conclusion from clues in a story. It doesn't matter if it's a long story, a novel, or a short story. Okay, so before we start, let's review our chart from past days. And it should remind us that we can use information from the text and what we already know and put it together, and we can draw conclusions. This is also kind of a review because we did this last week also. Okay, so today we're going to practice drawing conclusions with short stories. And I'm going to be reading some short stories, and then we're going to answer some questions that will require us to draw conclusions. So, we know that sometimes the author does not give us all the information we need to understand a story. They just don't. So good readers have to pay extra close attention to the clues the author provides so that we can figure out what the story is what the story is about on our own. And we do this to help us better understand the story. So I have a few sentences that I'm going to read. And we're going to use these sentences to draw conclusions. I opened the door and everyone yelled, surprise. What conclusions can you draw from that sentence? I opened the door and everyone yelled, surprise. I read that the author opened the door and everyone yelled, surprise. This makes me think of a time that happened to me or someone I know. Background knowledge. It was a surprise birthday party. So even though the author didn't tell me that it was a surprise birthday, I can guess or draw the conclusion that it is. All right, next sentence. The funny man had a silly painted face, big shoes, and a squeaky nose. I can draw a conclusion about this sentence. The author didn't tell me who this man was or what this man was, but I know that a clown has a silly painted face, big shoes, and a squeaky nose. So I can draw the conclusion that this funny man is a clown. And I'm able to do that because I'm using my background knowledge of a time when I've seen a clown before, or, at the fall festival we always have clowns, or maybe you've seen a clown at the fair or a carnival, a birthday party even. Next sentence. I heard a big bang and saw a flash of light as tiny drops of water fell on my head. Okay, so what's happening? Got to use the clues from the text, which said a big bang and drops of water on my head and a flash of light. And I know that if you're outside during a thunderstorm, there might be a big bang, a flash of light, and tiny drops of water falling on your head. So I can draw a conclusion that there is a thunderstorm getting ready to take place. The author didn't tell me that, but I can use the information from the text and what I already know, and I can draw that conclusion. Okay, now we're going to read a short story, and we're going to continue to practice drawing conclusions by using the information in the text and what we know to draw a conclusion. The title of our story is In the Night. I slink out of the back door of my quiet house. Everyone is asleep but me. I love the night. I am on the prowl. But first, I must make sure that I look my best. I use my rough tongue and paws to clean my face. Then I use my sharp eyes to look for mice. I would love a tasty treat to begin my adventurous evening. Suddenly, I see some movement behind a trash can. I silently tiptoe my way over and pounce on my prey. But oh no, this is not a mouse. It's a dog. Let's think about this text. So let's think about this. What type of animal is this story about? Let's see if we can draw a conclusion. What type of animal is this story about? So I know that I'm going to need to use some clues from the text. So, some things that I read in the text. I read that the animal slinks. I read that the animal was on the prowl. I read that the animal had a rough tongue. It had paws. I read that it cleans its face with its paws and its tongue. I read that it likes to eat mice. And I also read that it's afraid of dogs. So those are my clues. Now I can use those clues plus the information that I already know about animals, and I can draw a conclusion that this animal is a hold on, I'm actually going to draw the animal, so hold on 1 second. This animal is a cat. What is the animal in the story? The animal is a cat. So, how did I draw a conclusion about who or what the story was about? Well, what did I do? I read the text and I looked for clues in the story. So I had some clues about paws, cleans its face, has a rough tongue, is on the prowl. And then I thought about what I already knew about those clues and how they might help me to decide who or what the story was about. So I used the text, the clues from the text, plus what I already know, and I drew a conclusion that this story is about a cat. So, now you're going to be have your own opportunity to draw a conclusion. You're going to have a similar sheet that looks like this for your text. I'm going to be reading you the text, and then on your sheet, you're going to record your conclusion. So, we're going to listen to the story. The title is Silent Hunter. And then you're going to draw a picture of the animal in the story. So, you'll also use the line provided to explain how you knew what animal was being described in the story. And your parents are going to have a file where they can find this link for this response sheet. And also, if you don't have a printer or you're not able to find it, in your Word work journal, you can draw a picture of the animal. And then below, you can write a sentence about the clues that led you to that conclusion that it was about that animal. So the question is, who or what is the story about? All right, so this is going to be a different story about a different animal. And the title is Silent Hunter. I slither out of my hole early in the morning. Slither. It was a chilly night, and I am looking forward to lying for a while to warm up in the sun. Just then, I see a tiny field mouse looking for food. Squeak, 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 squeak. That looks like a tasty breakfast, I think to myself. I try to be silent as I move my long, thin body toward the mouse. But he is too quick for me and runs away. Oh well, I coil my long, scaly body. I get ready for a little sunbathing and a long nap. So, You're going to use some of the clues from the story, plus what you already know about animals, and draw a conclusion. What is the animal in this story? Make sure you respond with a picture and a sentence that explains your conclusion in your word work journal. Can't wait to see your responses. Please take a picture and get your parent to send it to me. Thank you. See you tomorrow.